don't mean to sound like the queen of cliches, but I cannot believe we're already more than halfway through this year. So today I thought I'd share an update on my planner and journal system for 2021. If you want to see the initial video that I did talking about my planner and journal lineup and the goals that I had, I'll have a link to that in the cards and in the description box below. Let's kick things off with a recap of my planning system. I've decided to go full steam ahead with bullet journaling, and I actually finished this bullet journal. If you want to see a flip through of it, I'll have a link in the cards and in the description box below. This bullet journal lasted me from August through March 2021, and I was pretty stoked to just fill this notebook up. It turned out to be a pretty chunky one because I ended up doing a lot of scrapbooking / collaging in my bullet journal spreads, and overall I just really enjoyed the flexibility of being able to tweak certain things to suit my ever-evolving preferences and needs. Occasionally I will refer back to this notebook looking at my year at a glance, just because I really like how I set this up and didn't feel a sense of urgency to replicate it in my current bullet journal. I don't know that that's the most ideal situation, but we're halfway through the year, so I think I can stick it out and reference those spreads until I'm ready to set up new 2022 spreads in this bullet journal. I felt like moving back into this bullet journal was a very full circle moment because my very first monthly spread was actually in April of 2020. So when I moved back into here for April 2021, it just felt very complete. You can kind of get an idea of the progress that I've made in this notebook so far by the page flags and whatnot that are kind of sticking out. This has 600 pages total. I'm only 130 pages in, so it will probably last me through 2022 as well. I'm not sure, but as a little bit of a teaser, I have been playing with a new planner. A video on that will be coming soon, so stay tuned for that. If you want to see more of my bullet journal spreads in this notebook, I'll have a link to that in the cards. That way you can check out like the types of spreads that I've been creating. Overall, I'm really happy to be back in this journal. I'm really enjoying the graph paper and just simplifying my setups, but still adding like a little touch of pizzazz here and there. And it just feels good to be able to sit here and see that I reached my goal of filling up this notebook and then moving back into this one. So I'm excited to continue bullet journaling in here, and I'll have an update for you guys at the end of this year. Hopefully. I would like to make it to 300 pages. I don't know that I will, and I'm not gonna force it, but in an ideal situation, I would make it halfway through this notebook by the end of this year. Moving on to journals, I feel pretty excited about this update. I did finish this notebook that I was using for morning pages. I had this notebook, or I started journaling in this notebook in January of 2019. So I was in this notebook for quite some time. I wrapped it up in March of 2021, and what a great feeling that was. I didn't really realize it at the time. It's not just solely dependent on this factor, but I really did not like journaling in this notebook, and I think that hindered my journaling routine in such a significant way. I was very inconsistent with my morning pages, just kind of doing it here and there. Towards the end, I made pretty pages where it was still stream of consciousness, but I was incorporating scrapbooking, and that helped motivate me to finish filling up this notebook. But I just didn't realize it at the time that this notebook did not make me happy. I think it looks nice, but it's not the same anymore. Now I have moved back into this notebook, which I talked about originally at the beginning of the year. It was my intention and my goal to move back into this markings notebook. I'll have all of these notebooks, or as many of them as I can find, linked in the description box below. This is a notebook that I got, I think, in high school. maybe early college years, and I started it but didn't make it very far. But I am so excited to say that I have made amazing progress. I am 138 pages in as of today when I'm filming this. I don't know how many pages there are total. I'm just numbering as I go along, but I have a feeling that there's probably 250 pages. We are about that much. So it's like more than halfway. I don't know. I just feel really good when I write in this notebook, and it's to the point where I'm looking in this direction. I'm staring at the notebooks that are in my queue to use, and I just don't know if they're gonna make me feel as good as I do when I write in this one. There's like magic that happens. I have been writing morning pages consistently for a month now, and that is a huge accomplishment. Going off on a tangent, but I do think it's important that you honor those seasons where you just don't feel like journaling. I think it's one thing to want to build a consistent habit, but forcing it doesn't feel that great either. And I can do a whole video on this if you guys would like, but I'm glad that I finished that notebook. I'm really happy that I moved into this notebook because journaling just feels so good, and I forgot that it could feel that good. I believe this notebook has 100 GSM paper, and I'm actually very surprised at how well it performs with my fountain pens. I wouldn't say that you could go crazy with it. I'm using extra fine fountain pens. I would say that the inks that I'm using are drier as well. I don't know if it's the size of it or what, but I'm really jazzed, guys, and I'm pretty sure that I will finish filling up this notebook by the end of this year. Another journal that I had talked about was my dream journal, and just a very quick update on this. I have not been back in here, but my husband has been encouraging me to write in it again because I've been having a lot of dreams, which isn't unusual, but it's just something that we've talked about a lot, and there's only so much journaling I feel like I can do in a day. And I talked about this in my original planner, journal, and lineup video. I want to keep things as simple as possible. I think I will get to this, or I'd like to get to this before the year ends, but we'll see. You know how I said I'd keep things simple and not use too many notebooks? Well, I have more notebooks to share with you guys in this video. This notebook I actually forgot to mention in my initial video. This is a notebook that I use to log all of my strength training, any programs that I'm running. I put into this notebook. This is a Flight Diary of Love notebook, and prior to this I was using one from Daiso that was okay, and while those notebooks previously got me by, I wanted it to look nice. The writing in here is not very nice. I'm focused on training, so most of what's in here just scribbles, but I like that I kind of have like a nice looking notebook, and it helps me feel more motivated to like actually make strength training more consistent. This is a notebook that I've started recently, and it's my ink journal. If you want to see how I set it up, I'll have a link in the cards and in the description box below. The only thing with this notebook right now is that I haven't purchased a hole punch. So all of my ink spreads right now are just sort of hanging out. They're all loose leaf, and I really need to get a hole punch so that I can actually start utilizing this system to its fullest. I am pretty stoked though that I'm finally logging my inks. I feel like it makes me feel that much more motivated to try new inks, because we probably all know that I'm really slow at that. And I just like that I now have reference for different inks. I can see and compare like which ink looks closest to what, and kind of keep tabs on which inks I'm really enjoying. The last two notebooks are ones that I've started this year, but I don't know, I'm not really active in them. I'm not really sure what's to come for the rest of the year. I might switch it up. I tend to do that where I'll start a notebook and have it set up in a particular way, and then I'll end up using it for something else. These are my two Nebula notebooks. One is the casual one in baby pink, and then this is the premium notebook. The premium notebook, I decided to do some self-actualization prompts. I've just been working a lot on myself lately, and I thought that this would be a good notebook to do that in. But the thing that I have been using it a lot for though are these spreads that I've been making in Esterbrook's Instagram Reels and TikToks. If you haven't seen that, I'll have some of them linked off in the description box below. Would love if you guys could go check it out, show some love and support to them. But like, this is a honeycomb inspired spread that I did for them. The ink performs really well. It's a blank canvas. I did this Monday Blues one recently. I feel like that will be its primary use going forward, is just whenever I'm creating content for Esterbrook or just content in general. It'll be kind of a fun compilation of content inspired spreads, if that makes sense. And then this notebook, it's kind of a depressing topic actually, but I was using it for our home search, which if you know anything about real estate right now, it's just kind of freaking insane. I was just taking notes on different things like what's included in closing costs, how to come up with a competitive home offer, information on like the different loan types. I started a list of things that I wanted to do before we actually moved. But as I said, it's just, real estate's kind of crazy right now. So I haven't really been working in this notebook. It kind of makes me sad, but a great notebook still. And I know that when the time comes, I'll move back into this. I don't know, maybe I'll have a more uplifting update towards the end of the year, but that's kind of how it is for now. I actually feel much more lax about the goals that I originally set at the beginning of the year. I don't know if it's because I reached some goals already, but I think going forward, I just want to, of course, continue bullet journaling and continue with morning pages, because that feels like such a huge win for me, and I can see a difference in how I've been feeling. So I'd say that I want my planner and journal lineup to continue to be a joy, and that would be the primary objective for the rest of the year. But I cannot wait until we reach the end of the year and I can provide another update. I would love to hear from you. How are your planners and journals working out for you? Let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and feel free to share it with a pen friend who you think might also enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe and to turn on those notifications. That way you don't miss any of our videos. I do my best to upload here every Wednesday at 8 a.m. PST, so please take care until then. Feel free to enjoy these two videos that will be linked here on the screen. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.